So now we're going to look at some signs and stuff, okay? For different areas. So school zones.
School zones. The speed limit on round
Roads.
never
Near.
near schools is 20 mph.
That stands for miles per hour.
This can be posted in
Various.
various ways. Speeding impedance,
Nope. Speed.
speed limits,
Signs.
signs may have
Flashing.
flashing yellow lights.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a speed limit sign with flashing yellow lights anywhere? I know where this one.
Where?
There's one near Fall School.
Oh, I see spot. I see like red light, green light. I see
Yeah,
that.
that's different.
I see flashing yellow lights sometimes on there.
Yeah, well, sometimes on speed limit signs there's flashing lights. I'll show them to you. There's some over by Fall School.
Oh, do they have it on both sides?
Yeah, they do.
It says one light flashes and then turns off the other light.
Yep,
Flash,
you got it.
flash. I see those.
Yep, that's one of those signs, and that's telling you to slow down because school's in session. Lights or be posted for certain hours of the day. See, like there, it's just the lights flash at school time. Look closely for signs saying you are approaching or entering a school zone. So that's a super important thing to look out for schools.
Yeah, they have something on the concrete floor that says school. Like it's in white letters.
Yeah,
school.
Yep, that's right.
Watch out for that.
Definitely. And watch out for signs like this that say school, right? Drive carefully when entering a school zone. Beware of children crossing the street or riding bicycles. Look for school safety patrols or crossing guards. That's another thing you'll see a lot of, right? At those things. So, traffic signals. So this is what you're just talking about. So you've seen these all over the place. So traffic signals are lights that control movement of vehicles and pedestrians, usually at intersections. You must know what each light means and obey the signals at all times. So this is going to tell us all about what these different lights mean. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Huh? So motor vehicle signals. Traffic signals are usually 3 round lights. Red, yellow, green. From top to bottom. Meaning the top one is red, the bottom is green. There are also other types of signals, such as single flashing lights or colored arrows. Oh, this is very interesting. So a steady red. So that means it's just staying red. A steady red light means stop. Do not go until the light turns green. You can make a right turn at a red light only after you have come to a complete stop and yield to pedestrians or other vehicles in your path. You may not turn on red if a no turn on red sign is posted. So that's sort of interesting. So if you get to a stoplight and there's a red light, you have to stop. But if you stop and there are no cars coming and no people coming, then after you stop, you can turn right.
Can you repeat that thing again?
Sure. So at a steady red light means stop. Do not go until the light turns green. So you can't go straight or left until the light turns green. You can make a right-hand turn on red only after you come to a complete stop and yield to pedestrians and other vehicles that are coming. So you have to wait for all the cars that are going the other way to stop and all the people to go by. And then if there's nobody there, then you can go right. Only right, not left.
Okay.
And that's not the case if there's a sign that says no right turn on red. So sometimes they have a sign that's on the pole that says even though that you still can't turn right on red. You can turn left on a red light when driving on a one-way street. Wow. And turning left onto another one-way street. Stop and yield to pedestrians or other vehicles before turning.
Actually, if you're going to make me go to bed, I'm going to go to Auntie to say
Steady red arrow. A steady red arrow means the same as a steady red circular signal. See the preceding steady red signal. However, it only applies to vehicles going in the direction of the arrow. So a red light that's in a direction tells you can't go in that direction. The same rules for turning on red apply in Massachusetts. However, when turning out of state, this may not be true because of different states have different laws. Flashing red light. A flashing red light means the same as a stop sign. So flashing red is the same as a stop sign. Come to
Or
a
red light.
No, it's different than a red light. A flashing red light is different than a red light.
Yeah.
So a flashing red light means come to a stop. It's like a stop sign. Come to a complete stop, obey the right-of-way laws, and proceed when it is safe. So you can even go, if you have a red flashing light, after you stop and there's nobody coming, you can go straight through, or you can take a left if it's flashing.
Yeah.
If it's a solid red light, you can never go straight through. You have to wait for it to turn green. If there are white lines on a crosswalk, you must stop before the line. If there are no lines, you must stop as close to the intersection as needed to see the traffic in both directions. Do not enter the intersection. So that's an interesting point. For a flashing red light or a stop sign, usually there's like a white line in the road,
Yeah.
and you have to stop before the white line. You can't stop past it. So like a lot of times everyone does this wrong, but so they'll stop and they'll go actually stop past where the sign is, but you have to stop behind the sign, and behind usually there's a white line on the road. If you go look out at the stop sign, I think at the corner next to Vespucci's house there,
Yeah.
I think there's actually a white line in the road, you'll notice. I think. Go check that out. So, so, so a steady yellow light. So if you get to a stoplight and it's got a yellow light, you know what
Yeah.
you're supposed to do?
Stop while you still can.
Stop. Yes. A steady yellow light means the traffic signal is changing from green to red. You must stop. You must stop if it is safe. If you're already stopped at an intersection or a stop line, you may not proceed. So you stop at a yellow light if you can safely stop. If you're already going fast through it and it changes, don't slam on the brakes, you just go through. But if you can stop, you stop at a yellow light. A flashing yellow light, if it's a red light, you stop no matter what. A flashing yellow light is a warning. Proceed with caution and stay alert. Look both ways for crossing at an intersection. So flashing yellow light means you have to slow down and look both ways before and look for cars coming in the other direction. So you don't have to stop at a flashing yellow light, but you have to slow down and look. And if somebody's coming through, like then you might have to stop. But usually you just slow down and make sure that somebody doesn't come in the other direction. So flashing yellow arrow. A flashing yellow arrow allows you to turn left when oncoming traffic has a green light, but the traffic is clear. You must carefully determine that there is an adequate gap in the oncoming traffic and ensure that there is no pedestrian in your path before making your turn. So with a flashing yellow light, a flashing left arrow light, if there are no cars coming, you can take a turn. But if there are other cars coming, you can't go.
If there's other cars, I can't go, but if there's no cars, I could go.
Right. The flashing yellow one means to like that. So a steady green light means go. But first you must yield to other vehicles, bicycles or pedestrians in the road. If you are crossing an intersection, make sure you have enough room to make it completely through. Never block an intersection. See, this is sort of important.
Yeah.
Like if there's a bunch of traffic, this sometimes happens up in Route 1 there, is if there's a lot of cars like stopped there, you don't want to have your car stop in the middle of the intersection if there's a green light. You know what I'm saying? Because then when the light turns green the other direction, you could be blocking the other people.
So what did you say?
So like if there's like a big traffic jam, even though the light's green, you might not want to go in because then you're going to be in the middle of the intersection and then the light's going to turn red. You're going to be sitting there and you can't go because there's all these other cars in front of you. So green means go basically, and sometimes you might want to not go if you're going to get stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
You may make a turn as long as you have enough space to complete the turn and not create a hazard. Look for drivers who do not obey traffic signals or race through intersections. So even though you have the green, you have to make sure there's not some dummy that's going through a red light. Green arrow. A green arrow means you can make a protected turn in the direction of the arrow. When a green arrow displays for your turn, pedestrians and oncoming vehicles should be stopped for red lights. Look for signs saying that the lane is only for turns in the direction of the arrow. So sometimes you might get into a lane where it says you can only turn left or right. Usually it's left. Traffic lights not working. This is interesting. So if traffic signals are not working, they will simply flash either red or yellow lights. When this happens, follow the rules for flashing lights. If signals are blacked out and not functioning, be cautious and proceed as though there is a stop sign in all directions. So if the traffic lights are out for some reason, there's a power outage or something.
If the traffic lights are out,
Yeah, sometimes that happens if there's like a hurricane or something.
or a thunderstorm.
Yeah, then the lights will be out. Then when you get to a stoplight that's not working, you just stop, and then you do as if it's a stop sign.
I do if it's a stop sign.
Yeah, then you treat it as a stop sign.
And I stop and turn the other way.
No, you just wait for your turn to go through.
Wait
Special.
for my turn to go through. Like
Yep.
what?
Well, we'll talk about stop signs, or we already did. So it's just like a stop sign. The rules for stop signs that we talked about or we'll talk about. Special lighted signals are often used at crosswalks to tell pedestrians when to walk a roadway. Pedestrians must obey the white, orange, don't walk, and walk signals. Some crosswalk signals include a numeric countdown timer. Pedestrians who are already in the crosswalk when the countdown approaches 0 have the right of way. Laws for drivers. You must yield to pedestrians entering or using a crosswalk in your travel path. So if a person starts walking across the street in a crosswalk, what do?
Stop.
Stop. Never let your vehicle block a crosswalk. You must yield to pedestrians if your traffic signal is red or if it is red and yellow. Never pass a vehicle that is stopped or slowing for a pedestrian. Oof. Imagine that. Like if someone stops at a crosswalk for someone to cross in a crosswalk and then your car goes around them and passes them. Oof.
That will not be okay.
That would not
That'll
be
kill them.
Yeah, that would be
So
bad.
stop when they're passing. You stop. When
Yeah,
they're passing, you
right.
stop.
Right.
You stop.